What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the Ragin Nation Show. This is just web series we're talking about all things that matter to me in the world of upcoming films. In this episode, we got to talk about Christopher Nolan and his upcoming film for Warner Brothers Pictures. Now, we don't know anything about this project. It's a huge mystery, except for the fact that Christopher Nolan is directing, and it has a release date of July 21st, 2017. Less than 2 years from now, right in the middle of the summer blockbuster movie season. Therefore, it's going to be a big summer tentpole film. Now, Christopher Nolan directing a new film, I'm there. I'm sold. I don't even need to know what it's about. I love all his films. Well, I don't love all his films, but I love most of them, but I enjoy every single one of them. And Christopher Nolan directing a summer tentpole film for Warner Brothers Pictures that's coming out less than 2 years from now. I'm excited. Now, I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything about it except for what I've already told you, but there is a report that came out yesterday, and I'm sure you guys already know about it. The rumor is that Christopher Nolan is not involved with just one, but 3 Akira films. You guys know Akira, a classic anime film based off of the manga of the same name. It is getting a Hollywood treatment, a Hollywood live action treatment. Now, a lot of people are probably saying like, no, you cannot make this film. Don't mess with the classic, okay? But the fact is that it is happening. Now, this isn't news. This isn't news at all. I mean, Christopher Nolan being attached to this is news. I mean, it's still a rumor. But the fact is that Hollywood has been toying with the idea of making a live-action Akira film for a very, very, very long time. It's been talked about for years, as a matter of fact. But due to budget problems, like being over budget, script issues, like how to translate this for the American audience, and also just creative differences, switching of directors again and again and again, and changing the script. You know what? It has just never taken off because of all these issues combined. I mean, we heard reports about the Hughes brothers directing it. You know, the Alan and Albert Hughes, who directed the Book of Eli, and also Jean collet-serra, who directed the Non-Stop and The Unknown, and that other Liam Neeson action thriller. But anyways, yeah, so we've had 2 directors on board, but they stepped down due to creative differences or scheduling or whatever, all right? At the end of the day, it hasn't been talked about ever really being made, mainly because of just the script not working. It's a very complicated story, and to Americanize it is even more complicated. But the rumor is that Christopher Nolan is involved. Now, there's no confirmation on whether or not he's directing it or producing, but if this rumor is true that he is in fact involved, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be directing it. Now, the crazy part is that I can picture Christopher Nolan directing an Akira film. In fact, I think that he's the only director that can touch this film and actually make it work, just because of him and his writing style. He just knows how to tell a story, all right? Him combined with his brother, Jonathan Nolan, working on an Akira story, I think it could work. The thing is that even though I can see it happening, I can also see it not happening. It almost seems like it isn't going to happen with him directing. It only seems like that he is going to be serving as a producer, because Warner Brothers attaching his name to a film typically is a good idea. Not all the time, but most of the time. Christopher Nolan, he usually writes his own films. He's involved with the writing process in one way or another. Okay? Now, it doesn't look like that Christopher Nolan is going to be writing this film. I mean, they have writers for the Akira film. I forget who that writer is, but they have a writer, okay? They might have more than one writer, but the fact is that it isn't going to be written by Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan directing someone else's written work is a very rare thing. He typically writes his own movies. And that is why I believe that he won't be directing. He's only going to be serving as a producer, and with his name attached to an Akira film could help sell the movie, could help convince audiences that it could work. I mean, his name was attached to Man of Steel as a producer. He's also serving as an executive producer for Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. So that could help sell the movie. And you know what? It does add a couple of his fingerprints, his storytelling fingerprints in the film. I mean, Man of Steel did feel like it was part of the Dark Knight Nolan universe. Because of the way it looks, the way it feels. So I don't know. I think that I think it could happen. And now there's no word on when this is going to happen. There's no word on even if this is the film that is going to come out in 2 years from now on July 21st, 2017. There's no word on even if Christopher Nolan is involved at all. It's just a rumor. But you know what? Christopher Nolan, with his track record, I mean, being able to tell an effective story, you know, that could happen. I for some reason, I feel like Akira is right up his alley. The story of Akira is something that could work if it is Nolanized, for lack of a better term. I mean, the story of Akira, and I've only seen the anime film, I've never read the manga, but the Akira story is a very grand story. It's not necessarily an epic story, but it's kind of like in some ways a biblical story. Like, it's very, very, it's very, like, it's got a lot of sci-fi elements, but it's part of a grander story that almost feels kind of spiritual. All right, and you know, when you look back at a lot of the films he's worked on, a lot of these films have that kind of element to it. So when you bring in his style of storytelling and direction and writing, I think that you can really bring something to the mix. I mean, you can really bring something to the story of Akira. And even though it's not going to be a complete carbon copy of the Japanese classic, it will be still something that I think will be worth checking out. All right, so I don't know. I'm just putting my thoughts out there. We don't even know that if this is even true, but there's a website called Den of Geek that did report it as a rumor, and then now a lot of the entertainment news sites are going with it, and I just wanted to share with you my thoughts of what it would be like if it actually happened. Now, once again, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be directing it. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be serving as a producer, and Warner Brothers wants his name attached to it. They want some of his creative thoughts put into it, because the fact is that this film is very hard to get off the ground. I mean, it's just got a very complicated and complex story that, I mean, they believe that Christopher Nolan is a really brilliant storyteller, and I believe that as well. So if they can make it cohesive and make it work, it could happen. Now, like I said before, this is an Americanized version, okay? We're getting a Hollywoodized version, a whitewashing, if you will. I mean, we're not going to see full-on Japanese actors in New York or in Tokyo. We're going to see, American actors. Okay, we're going to see American actors. Originally, they were getting Garrett Hedlund and Kristen Stewart to play the male and female lead roles. Okay, but that fell apart. So that already tells you what this production is going to be like. Now, with Christopher Nolan involved, there's going to be some pretty solid casting, okay, if he is in fact involved as a producer. But I'm positive he's not going to be a director. But if he is a director, whoa. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, what are your thoughts about this? Do you even want to see a Hollywood treatment of Akira? Do you think they're going to butcher it? And how do you feel if Christopher Nolan is involved? I mean, I know there are people who aren't into Christopher Nolan films, but there are also a lot of people who are into them, all right? And they want 3 films, okay? So they want to create a franchise out of it. They want to create a trilogy. They won't want to just end it at one. They think that Akira can be a big hit if Christopher Nolan is involved. And considering that they're putting so much effort into it, they don't want to end it with just one. After all, the manga is a huge story. Not just the film, but the manga itself. There's a lot to be told, okay? So there you have it. Let me know in the thoughts. Let me know your comments. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Establish what is going on, but once political turmoil begins, it doesn't end. Okay? I'm telling you, as soon as they get all the